Are the blue jeans you're wearing potentially causing you cancer? Is the moisturizer that you put on your face today potentially changing your hormones? And are you eating bits and pieces of your cooking utensils? We'll find out today on this episode of Rumble Book Club. Welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Michael Hernandez, and today we are talking about the book Fatal Conveniences by Darin Olien. Olien is a nutritionist, author, and he is also the star of a Netflix documentary which won an Emmy Award called Down to Earth with Zac Efron. In this book, Olien talks about some of our most cherished modern conveniences of today's age and how they may be causing more harm than the good they provide. Olien talks about a couple different broad strokes categories. First being different products that we tend to take advantage of every day, whether that be makeup, deodorant, shampoo, lotion, floss sticks, all the little things that we put on, in, around our body that aren't food related, but are more cosmetic products. And he spends a lot of time specifically focusing on stuff that emits different fragrances, such as perfumes, conditioners, scented candles, detergents that we put on our clothes, a lot of stuff that's designed to make our lives smell what we interpret as fresh. He spends a significant amount of time discussing the other things we put on our body, such as clothing. So where our shirts and the dyes that are infused in them, how the cotton's produced in them, blue jeans in particular, leather, all these different products that we're putting on top of our body, our skin, which is the largest organ. So I'd say it's pretty significant what we put on it. Speaking of which, what is this shirt made out of? Is this cotton? Olien spends a significant amount of time talking about the foods that we eat and the drinks that we consume every day and what the potential drawbacks that those might happen to pose. Except his coffee, obviously. He restates a general rule of thumb that most grocery shoppers happen to know. If you want to eat the healthiest, most natural items in a grocery store, generally you want to avoid the middle aisles where all the prepackaged stuff that's loaded full of all kinds of unhealthy preservatives and extra ingredients and chemicals and all kinds of weird stuff we weren't really meant to consume. If you want to eat the natural stuff, stick to the poultry, the dairy, the meats and produce that's on the exterior, stuff that needs to be refrigerated as a general rule if you want to just eat healthier. And believe it or not, it's pretty much just as cheap to eat that way as well. He also says don't sleep on frozen fruits and vegetables. Those actually happen to have a lot of nutritional value because they're plucked when they're at their freshest before being frozen with no added preservatives. But even the stuff you would typically think of as healthy on the outskirts of the grocery store, he makes you ask questions such as how is that meat or milk produced? So he happens to be a vegan. He doesn't believe in eating meat or animal suffering. I understand his sympathy, although I'm a 100% carnivorous human being. I love my steaks and burgers. I love my pork loin and bacon and ham and eggs. I love all that. I would never go vegan in 1,000 years. But I understand his scrutiny for looking at the animals and asking, was this animal pasture raised? Was it fed a natural diet that farmers have been giving pigs and cows and chickens for thousands of years? Or was it some factory-produced swine that was taken as a baby, pumped full of hormones, shoved into a tiny little cramped space and loaded full of antibacterial medications and given all these chemicals that we're going to ingest? He's just making you ask the question when you're looking in the grocery store, is the meat I'm eating 100% natural meat, or is there a bunch of nasty crap that was pumped into this animal from the time it was born to the time it was slaughtered? And in my opinion, as someone that has actually had pasture-raised eggs and typical store-bought eggs, who's had natural beef, who's had the pumped, full of, hormones and stuff kind of beef, who's someone who's had typical store-bought meat, and someone who's actually gone and hunted and created my own deer meat and stuff like that. You can even taste the difference and you can feel the difference long term. It is healthier when you actually pay attention to what's going in. Is your meat as natural as it could be? And finally, Olien talks about a lot of the modern day electronic conveniences that we take advantage of each and every day. Everything is from air conditioning to Wi-Fi routers, cell phones, 5G network, computers, laptops, all these things that emit different electronic signals, create magnetic fields, all these things that create things that we don't even really see, but we can kind of see the effects of, even small things such as plants dying within close proximity to Wi-Fi routers and stuff like that. All these little things that kind of give us hints that maybe being 100% surrounded and consumed by technology isn't the most healthy thing. And even if you're not someone that really believes that Wi-Fi is potentially dangerous, that microwaves can potentially cause cancer, or that your cell phone is potentially causing you brain tumors, if you're not someone that believes in that, and to be honest, I'm kind of skeptical myself, it is just healthy to be unplugged in general. I would honestly suggest, even if you ignore 99% of that particular chapter where he's discussing electronics and their detrimental effect, I would just recommend, just for your mental health, just stepping away from technology altogether. Olien happens to be very aggressive in his tactics for what you should give up. He's personally cut out all of this, and it has to do with his backstory, which he describes in the book, which I find pretty interesting, where out of necessity, through his father's illness, he had to kind of scrutinize all the things that were going in and around his body. But also, he has a very conciliatory fashion when he's introducing these to you. So he has a couple different levels that he introduces. He'll discuss the products, the different conveniences that we take advantage of, what their drawbacks are, whether that's through health, to the environment, just to society in general. He discusses the gung-ho way to go about it. So if you want to cut it all out, these are alternatives you can take. He discusses, what levels you can take if you take it seriously, but you're not willing to go the whole hog and completely obliterate that convenience from your life. And then even the bare minimum, he provides kind of a bare minimum option. And well, if you're someone that absolutely needs to buy blue jeans, you love the way blue jeans feel, that's just part of your style, you won't give it up, well, here's some options for you. So he provides all these different options for each level of commitment, whether or not you take the book 100% seriously or whether you don't. I thought the book was a fun, interesting, very entertaining read, and I thought quite informative. I found this book on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon as well. The book is Fatal Conveniences by Darin Olien. Go out and get yourself a copy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go read something.